Hey everyone, welcome back. I am Dipayan Ghosh, and today we are talking about a planetary shift that I think is genuinely one of the most important and most practical transit of 2026. On June 20 and 21, 2026, Mars moves out of Aries and enters Taurus. Now, this might not sound as dramatic as Jupiter in Cancer or the Saraswati Yoga, but trust me, for your day to day life, your energy levels, your finances, and your overall productivity, this Mars shift matters a lot. And I'm going to explain exactly why. Plus, I'm going through all 12 signs and telling you specifically what this transit means for you. Right? So, let's get into it. Now, let me start by explaining what the shift from Aries to Taurus actually means in terms of energy, because these two signs are completely opposite in their nature. Mars in Aries, which is where Mars has been, is Mars in its on its own sign. Mars rules Aries, and Mars in Aries is the most fiery, most fast moving, most action oriented placement possible. It is like pure initiation energy, starting new things, moving fast, taking risk, change forward. Do not think long, but just go. Okay, just don't think anything, just go. This kind of energy Mars in Aries gives you, and that energy that energy has been running in the background of everyone's life for the past several weeks. Things have been, fast paced, a little chaotic, high momentum, but also a little unpredictable. Now, when Mars enters Taurus, and Taurus is the earth sign, it is fixed, it is slow, deliberate, practical, and deeply focused on building things that last. So the shift that happens when Mars enters Taurus is this, that the energy moves from initiation to stabilization, from starting to building, from changing forward to digging in and constructing something solid. Think of it like this, like Mars in Aries is the same, like Mars in Aries is a sprint, okay, but Mars in Taurus is when you stop sprinting and start laying bricks one by one steadily with patience. And in 2026 specifically, this shift is even more valuable because Mars has no retrograde in this entire year, which means that there are no major interruptions, no reversals, no going back. Mars in Taurus 2026 is straight uninterrupted building phase. Alright. Now let me tell you about three phases within the Mars in Taurus transit, because the energy shifts as Mars moves through different nakshatras within the sign. The first phase is Krittika Nakshatra from June 21 to July 4. Kritika is a fire nakshatra despite being is an earth sign, is in a earth sign. What this creates is a perfect energy for cutting away what is not working. Think of it like think of this like as a financial and structural reform phase. Look at your expenses, your cost, your systems, and cut what is redundant. Mars in Kritika gives you the sharp energy to make those cuts clearly and you know decisively. And the second phase is Rohini Nakshatra from July 4 to July 14, and this is the most beautiful phase of the entire transit. Rohini is one of the most fertile and most abundant nakshatras in the entire zodiac, ruled by moon, associated with growth, beauty, sensuality, and luxury. Mars moving through Rohini is Mars moving through Rohini in Taurus creates what I would describe as a highly yield growth window. This is the time for planting seed in your most important projects, starting something new that requires patience and consistent nurturing over time. The seeds you plant during Rohini will grow into something genuinely valuable. The first phase is Mrigashira Nakshatra. Third phase is Mrigashira Nakshatra. From July 24 to August 2, Mrigashira is about searching and researching, the deer hunting for what it needs. During this phase, the energy becomes more intellectually sharp. This is a good time for research, for investigating hidden financial opportunities, and for gathering the information you need to make important decisions. All right, now I want to talk about something that is that is actually one of the most important dynamics of this entire transit, and I call it as warrior of garden. Now, Mars is a warrior planet. It is aggressive, direct, fast moving, and impatient. And now it is placed in Taurus, which is a garden type, slow, sensual, beauty loving, and deeply attached to comfort and security. This combination creates some very specific friction that you need to be aware of. First friction is your speech. Taurus rules the second house, which is the house of speech and values in Kalpurus chart. And Mars in the second house, energy can make communication very direct, very blunt, and very occasionally very harsh. The frustration that builds up from Mars being in a slow sign can come out in a words that are sharper than you intended. One single harsh sentence said in a moment of impatience during this transit can damage a relationship that took years to build. So be very conscious about how you speak to people you care about during this period. The second friction is around money and material comfort. The Taurus trap is, I call it, is when the internal pressure of Mars build up and comes out as a impulsive spending on comfort items, shopping to manage stress, buying something expensive because it is temporarily relieves the restlessness of having Mars stuck in the slow sign. So do not liquidate your long term savings or financial assets for short term sensory comfort during this transit. The third friction is physical. Mars in Taurus settle its heat in a specific physical areas. The throat, the neck, and the thyroid are particularly vulnerable during this transit. Jaw tension, head itches, vocal strain are most common physical complaints during Mars in Taurus. So take care of your throat specifically. Rest your voice, and when it needs to rest. Rest your voice when it needs to rest. Do not speak unnecessarily. And if you have any existing thyroid concerns, be extra vigilant about them during this period. The grounding remedy for all this friction is very simple. When the restlessness builds, instead of arguing, build something. Instead of spending impulsively, invest in something physical. Instead of releasing the Martian energy through conflict or consumption, channel it into deliberate and productive physical work. All right. Okay, now let me go through every 12 signs quickly and tell you exactly what the Mars in Taurus transit means for you. All right. So firstly, let's talk about Aries. So Aries, Mars is moving into your second house of assets, wealth, and speech. This is your most powerful window for building real tangible net worth. Gold, high quality investments, and steady financial accumulation are all supported. But your words carry extra heat during this period, particularly in financial conversation with family. So be careful about how you discuss money at home. Your tone in those conversation matters more than usual right now. All right. Now let me bring the next sign, which is Taurus. So for Taurus, Mars is in your first house. your own lagna, and this gives you an extraordinary surge of personal energy, charisma, and drive to dominate in whatever you are focused on. This is an excellent window to launch a personal brand, step into a leadership role, or push yourself into a forefront of your field. The caution is this, that energy can also make you very stubborn and very resistant to any input that challenges your decision. Channel your surge into physical training and productive work to prevent it from turning into unyielding rigidity. Alright, so this was for Taurus. Moving into the next sign, which is Gemini, right? Yeah. So for Gemini, Mars is in your 12th house, the house of working behind the scenes, foreign connections, your hidden matters, and your best result during this transit comes from quiet and strategic work that others do not necessarily see. International collaborations and back-end skill building are particularly favored in this transit. Watch your hidden expenses and any costs related to foreign transaction, and stay completely away from workplace gossip during this period. It will cost you more than you realize. All right. Now, moving into the next sign, which is Cancer. Okay, so for Cancer, Mars is in your 11th house of gains, networks, and financial income. This is a massive window for professional recognition and financial gains. Your energy for organizing large scale initiatives and professional networks are very high right now. So use this time to finalize contracts and have been contracts that have been pending, and to reduce any unnecessary operational cost in your work in business. Your charm is particularly effective in professional settings during this transit for Cancer. All right. Now moving into the next sign, which is Leo. So for Leo, Mars is in your 10th house of career, and 10th house is where Mars has what we call directional strength. This means Mars is operating at maximum effectiveness in these positions for you. Major career drive, high profile promotions, and the confidence to present complex plans to powerful stakeholders are all strongly supported. The main caution is to avoid ego clashes with senior management or government authorities. You have that energy to push hard professionally, but picking battles with people in authority during this period can set you back significantly. Right. Now, next we have Virgo. Let's bring the Virgo here. So for Virgo, Mars is in your ninth house of higher learning, fortune, and long term growth. Professional certifications, academic upgrades, and any kind of structural learning are your primary growth engine right now. This is also a good time for reorganizing your long term financial strategy. The caution is to avoid getting pulled into philosophical and ideological debates. So focus on building and expanding rather than arguing about ideas. All right. Now next we have Libra. Now for Libra, Mars is in your 8th house of joint finances, shared assets, research, and deep transformation. This is a time for going deep, auditing joint finances, reviewing insurance and tax matters, and researching things that are not on the surface. Deep psychological healing is also supported during this period. The very important caution for Libra during this transit is to strictly avoid high risk debt and speculative financial commitments. The 8th house Mars can create an appetite for financial risk that is not advisable right now. Alright, so this was for Libra. Alright, now for Scorpio, Mars is in your 7th house of partnerships, contracts, and public dealings. Raw energy is entering your relationship sector. Business partnerships and public dealings becomes very intense and productive right now. The key is to stay flexible on how you negotiate. Avoid being possessive or controlling in your partnerships. Mars in 7th can create a tendency to want to dominate the relationship dynamic. So stay collaborative and the result will be very strong. Alright. Now for Sagittarius, Mars is in your 6th house. And Mars in the 6th house is actually very powerful position for handling obstacles, clearing debts, and workplace productivity. Your ability to crush back work, resolve legal matters, and outperform competitors is very high during this transit. Physical training is also strongly supported. The caution is to manage your body's internal heat carefully. Throat issues and muscular exhaustion are real risk if you push too hard without adequate recovery. Alright. So next we have Capricorn. Mars is in your 5th house of creative intelligence, children, and innovation. This is an excellent window for technical and creative work, coding, complex design project, innovative strategy, and any work that requires both logical precision and creative thinking are all very supported in this transit. The caution is very clear and very important. Strictly avoid gambling and speculative investments during this transit. The 5th house Mars energy can create overconfidence and speculative bets. So maintain financial discipline. All right. Next we have Aquarius. Now for Aquarius, Mars is in your 4th house of home, property, and domestic foundations. This is your window to finalize home renovations, property purchases, or any real estate decisions you have been considering. You are in the process of closing a multi-year domestic cycle and building something on a multiple domestic cycle and beginning something new. This is genuinely a good window for that. The caution is to be very aware of your tone with family members at home. Mars in the 4th can make you want to control the domestic environment, and that can create tension with the people you live with. Alright, now next we have Pisces. Alright, now the last. If you're Pisces, Mars is in your third house of communication, sales, marketing and short travels. Your willpower for marketing, networking and getting your message out is very strong during this period. Sales activities, promotional campaigns and any work that involves convincing people through communication are all supported. The caution for Pisces is very specific. Before signing any contract during this transit, during signing any contract during this transit, verify every line carefully. The speed and confidence of Mars in the third house can lead you to overlook important details in agreement. All right. Now, this was for 12 signs. Now, let me talk about the remedies, specific practices for working with Mars in Taurus energy. First remedy is very simple. Chant the Hanuman Chalisa or Mangal Beej mantra regularly during this transit. Hanuman Chalisa is very important. Okay, Hanuman Chalisa is very important. Let me repeat you again. Hanuman Chalisa is very important. So chant Hanuman Chalisa at Mangal Beej mantra regularly during this transit. Om Kram Krim Krom Sha Bhaumah Namaha 108 times. I will give the mantra in the description. Hanuman is the deity most connected to Mars energy in its most refined and most disciplined form. Regular Hanuman worship during Mars transits genuinely helps channel the aggressive energy into strength, service, and positive action rather than conflict. Alright. On Fridays, offer white flowers to Goddess Durga. This is a very specific practice for stabilizing the Venusian Taurus energy that Mars is now sitting in. White represent Venus and Durga represent the Shakti that channels Mars properly. Together, this remedy softens the harsh edges of this transit. Third is consume a small amount of honey every day during this period. Honey is connected to sweetening speech and communication. And with Mars in this speech related Taurus energy, this simply, dietary practice genuinely helps your words come out with more warmth and less sharpness. Fourth is offer raw milk or water to a shivling regularly. Milk and water cools Mars heat. Shiva holds the balance between destruction and creation, which is exactly the Mars in Taurus needs. This is this is a very traditional but very effective remedy for managing Mars related heat in any transit. Okay. Fifth is engage in regular physical exercise during this period. This is not a ritual, it is a practical necessity. Mars energy needs physical expression. If it does not get it through deliberate exercise, it will express itself as irritability, okay, impatience or conflict. Channel it into weight training, physical work, or any activity that uses your body deliberately. This is the signal. This is the single most effective way to use Mars in Taurus energy constructively. And sixth is carry a small piece of silver with you. Silver is connected to moon, which rules the Cancer, and Cancer stellium of Jupiter and Venus right now provides the emotional wisdom and balance Mars drive. So silver physically grounds emotional volatility and helps stabilize your financial decisions during a period when impulsive spending is a real risk. Now, let me close with a little message that I think captures everything about this transit perfectly. Mars in Aries was your energy for starting, for launching, for having the courage to begin. Mars in Taurus is your energy for building, for committing into the long game, for choosing stability over speed. And in 2026, with no retrograde to slow things down, the Mars in Taurus giving you a genuinely uninterrupted building phase that is quite rare. The universe is not telling you to slow down, but because you are being punished. The universe is telling you to slow down because you are building right now deserves full, steady, discipline, attention. So stop running and start building. Use this energy to create something real, something solid, and something that will still be standing and still be growing long after after this transit is over. Right now, if you want to make free Kundli and birth chart, visit the Cosmic Dharma website. Link will be in the description down below. And if you want to book a personal consultation with me, you can simply DM on Instagram. Link will be in the description down below. If this video helped you, please like it, share it with someone who needs to know about this energy shift, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Drop your lagna in the comments below and let me and tell me one material goal you are building this month. I genuinely want to know what you are working on. So until then, stop sprinting, start building, and trust the process. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Mangal Dev.